Good morning, everybody. I'm Go VR Go Home. Welcome to the Sunday Brunch Kit Builds. We're here almost every Sunday, and I normally say every Sunday, but sometimes life happens, and you don't you don't go live for whatever reason. We show up, we work on kits, we work on the layout, we do some graffiti, we do some weathering, a little bit of everything. Just promoting the hobby as it is. Got this kit here that I was working on a few weeks ago. You guys saw me build it. There's a couple of parts to it. I've primed it black now that it is built for the most part. I also have the roof sections here as well that are also, they were primed and painted because I did spray for all of that. So there's a nice little, yeah, I guess it falls right through, huh? Let me see if I can get this on here where it stays. Okay. So it's a nice kind of silverish roof there. Needs to be weathered and whatnot, but I'm going to paint this. I'm going to paint this the main color today. I've got this very nice acrylic green. It's called leaf green. Not too bright, not too dark. Leaf green. If I can make a commercial for leaf green. Good morning, everybody. Morning. Brian, thank you so much for those stickers. I just got them today. Your sticker's already on my layout, and it's very nice of you to send that out. Mike H.O. Trains, how's it going, Mike? Thanks for joining. I like to keep things interesting and show up at random times during, Sunday mornings to do the live. Sometimes it's noon, sometimes it's 10 a.m. It's really based off of what I've got going on. So I had to take my wife to work today. She's got a little side gig, so guess she's working Sundays. But yeah, that was short-lived. Hey, Bubs, great review this morning on those scale trains units. And if anybody didn't catch that yet, make sure you check that out. And Brian, how's it going, guys? Thanks for joining. Okay, so I'm going to paint this. So I'm going to just put this down because no one will see me. I'm just going to point that down, and we'll get started on this. I think I've got a cup somewhere here. There we go. So I like having my drawer thing right here. All my supplies are right there, and I can get them all very quickly, and it's all accessible, and I don't have to run off to the other room. Let's take a look at leaf green and see what that gets you. It's probably just, it looks bright on camera, but it's more of a naturey green. It's not dark, but I'm assuming that because I'm going over top of the black paint, that it will be okay. I'd like a softer brush, but I can't find one. Oh, it's because they're all down in. Okay, maybe this one's okay. Did you know that depending on the roughness of your brush, you will get a different kind of stroke? Well, that was pretty good too. Okay, let's play between these two here and see what happens. All right. So, I don't really have any actual direction here as far as how I want this to be painted, except for the fact that I want it to be green. So I'm just going to have at it. and we'll go from there. I don't put thick layers of paint on these things normally, so it's really just, you know, do a coat, and if that's enough, then great. If not, do another coat. And hope for the best. Now the reason why I'm using this brush on paint here for something like this is because I didn't have green spray paint that I liked that I would have used on something like this. And that's really my only reason. I could have gone out and got green spray paint if I really wanted to, but I didn't. I said to myself, I have some very nice green acrylics that I could probably put to use, and that's where I landed. And I've seen these things done in a couple of different colors, right? Like I've seen the all red, I've seen a dark green, and like a grayish white. Obviously weathered though. It's not like straight up white. That'd be weird. So I decided to go with the green just because I thought it looked really nice as green. That's my justification for that. Yeah, this is leaf green. Leaf green. And yeah, I'll probably have to do 2 coats, but because it's kind of thin going on there, I don't feel like it'll take forever to dry, which is good because no one likes watching paint dry. I do have some other kits that I can work on if need be, but my focus is just on this one right now. Whoops. It feels like everything has really taken a standstill in the train area. Haven't really done too much lately. Don't really come down here much except when I have to work. But I'm trying to get back at it because, you know, got to keep moving forward. I've come so far with the layout, you know, I'd hate to just all of a sudden stop. I did pack up my all my barrel ore cars because I've got like close to 30, and they were taking up a majority of the space for my display area. So I boxed them all up a couple of weeks ago just to clean off the layout a bit, because there's a lot of rolling stock, and that's what happens, right? You gotta cycle things out, you know. Should make some room, and then once I empty off everything, I go out and get some more rolling stock and end up filling it up again. Happens. And at least once a year I do somewhat of a purge where I go through, and because I used to have a habit of buying stuff just to do like a review because it was new or whatever, and by the year's end I sort out what I need and what I don't need. And for the things that I don't need, I would either end up selling, or I would add to a pile of, okay, well, I'm going to be doing some giveaways or whatever at some point. So do that. Okay. Well, it needs to dry a bit, that's for sure. And I don't mind the color. So that's all right. Yeah, it just spreads really weird. And because it's getting closer to the end of October, that means we're coming up on November. Not much is happening November-wise for myself, like, you know, for the channel anyways. We are taking a family vacation, and we'll be gone like from like, I think like the 6th till something. 6th to the 14th, I think it was. I'm not a dates guy, I don't remember. So when I come back, we'll be starting the next group build, which is the chocolate factory. So that'll be fun. I'm excited for that. I've been waiting what feels like all year for that kit, and finally have it. It's right here. It's chocolate. I did put a poll out the other day just to see who, you know, has a kit and who doesn't. Seems like a majority of people won't be doing that kit, but people like to watch still, which is really cool. So it'll be fun to see, you know, everybody working on their kits and whatnot. And I love working on kits, so it's especially fun for me because I get to work on the kit. But if anybody is having trouble trying to locate one of those, let me know and I'll help you out. I'm resourceful in that way, I guess. I like to think I am anyways. Yeah, I gotta wait for that to dry because doing a second coat over that will not be fun. Now, as for these windows, I'm not going to paint the window frame. I'm going to go around it. Now, I guess if some of you did notice, I re-uploaded my visit with my wife to the Clearview station, but I just uploaded it by itself because I had it part of keeping track, and the keeping track is not making as much traction as I would have hoped. And I find that I'm missing out on a lot of what could be potential views when doing certain things. And it's because it's part of keeping track opposed to it being a singular uploaded video. For example, when I did the Aurora Miniatures SD60F unboxing and review, when you look at the videos and you look at the views from certain videos, like other people's videos, you know, getting hundreds or sometimes in some cases thousands of views, where mine is kind of tucked away in with, you know, a few other things. I can't remember what else I reviewed or did in that video, but because it wasn't, you know, front row center with the title of the SD60F review, whatever, didn't get as many views as I would have hoped. So I don't know. I think I'm thinking that I might have to either reestablish how keeping track is done, or even possibly scrap it altogether. It's fun to do projects like that, but I've been doing it now for, I want to say, 2 years. And even though it's okay and people watch it, you know, it's like with the amount of effort that goes into it, you don't get as much of a return. You know, it's not as awesome as I'd hope for it to be. So you never know. These are the things we learn as we go. I have that kit. It's huge. It's going to take up a nice chunk of real estate on my layout. I have to put a parking lot, etc., for the employees' cars. I'm putting an interior. Also, what about you? So there's a few ideas that I have with it, but I'm not in stone with anything yet. But yeah, parking lot, and I know that I need some of those tank trucks that say milk on them. You know, the milk ones, all silver with a little blue circle. I need to find some of those because they'll be dropping off, obviously, the dairy side of things. So, but yeah, interior lighting for sure. That's a must. I know where it's going on the layout, and my track work is slowly getting to that general area because I have it where it's a branch line that comes up and it eventually makes its way to the actual plant itself. In fact, I installed the track up to the bridge passover, but I have not ran a locomotive up yet to test it. So maybe at some point I should do that. Yeah. You got a milepost sign. I didn't see the picture. Did you post a picture into the chat there, Bubs? Hey, Susanna, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. Just by curiosity, I don't know. I can't really put a poll in here. I don't know if I can or not. Probably not. Yeah, I can't. I don't think I got that kind of power. Quick question for you guys. Because it has come up where some people have said, hey, you do work with mini prints. Will there ever be a mini Chris available, a mini GVO? And if so, when's that going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. So my question to you is, would you guys be likely to buy one if you knew that 100% of the proceeds from purchasing the mini Chris was going to a cat rescue or cat shelter type thing, where they rescue cats and kittens, and they will fix them and whatnot. And it's actually where I got Midas from. Is this local cat shelter. You guys know the story of Midas. He was hit by a car, and he was badly hurt, and they had to remove one of his eyes. So now I've got a little Cyclops cat, and we've had him for a couple of years now. But they're always looking for donations and whatnot, and ways to help out these animals that come in, and they got to pay those vet bills and stuff like that. So if you guys would be interested in purchasing a mini me, at least you know that you're also helping out a local cat shelter as well. But let me know, because it's something that I've been more or less like working on. and you would have to, I think you'd have to get it from Mini Print directly. So you have to go onto the website, and kind of like what he did with Lionel, right? Because Lionel, he has a mini Lionel that you buy, and then all the proceeds from all the mini Lionels go into, I guess it would be Cancer Society. So everyone's got their thing, right? Oh, that's cool. I'm technically already 3D scanned. I'm already a scan, but we've just been working out the logistics. I'm not sure how much you would pay for this, because it's just it's a minifigure of me. But I'm technically holding a cat, which kind of makes it, special, I guess, in a sense. Now, obviously, we couldn't do it with like a real cat, so I had to use one of my kids' stuffed animal cats. But it looked real enough, not amazingly real, but real enough. Does it make a meow sound? Well, because Bernard is doing all these mini sounds now, because he just did it's almost like an outhouse, and the outhouse itself, it's a wooden outhouse, which is done by ITLA Scale Models, and then there's a minifigure sitting inside with his pants around his ankles. I'm not sure who volunteered for that one. Wasn't me, though. And then as well, there's little porta potty sounds. Now, I'm not sure what these porta potty sounds are yet, but I can only imagine what it could be. Oh, the possibilities. But that would be fun to have, like a just have it meow every so often. You'd have to really be able to appreciate a cat in order to invest in something like that, where it just meows every so often. Might as well get a real one at that point. Yes, sir. I wonder why you guys haven't did a mini print of you guys before, Bubs and M&M Rose. So I don't think Mark has ever had the opportunity to have the scan done. Bubs and I got scanned well over a year ago. Like, not this past September, but last September. Like, what year is it? 2023 right now still. So 2022, we got scanned in September. But there was issues with both Bubs' scan and my scan. I guess he was having some technical difficulties. So he told me that we would need to get rescanned. And then when I was at the Rapido barbecue this past June, because that was in June, I got scanned there again for the second time. And let me tell you, there's nothing more embarrassing than standing there getting scanned, holding a stuffed animal cat, and then having Jason Schron walk in, look at you, and be like, oh God, please don't make any, comments. It's already embarrassing enough. He's kind of shook his head. But, yeah. Everybody has their thing. I'm pretty sure he has a TARDIS in his office. If you're a fan of Doctor Who. I'm personally not. I can't get into it. Like the show. Can't get into it as in I can't talk about it. I mean, can't get into it as in, you try watching something and then you're like, I've got no interest. Something like that. Scott Rails, how's it going? With a chip and speaker, which you place anywhere on the layout using track power and has all kinds of different sounds, including machinery, cats, and dogs. Oh, neat. Hornby, eh? Is it scale specific? I guess not, eh? That would be kind of cool. I've seen some guys do like they'll put like a speaker below certain parts of their layout. Mine is taller than it is flatter. So if I had like a longer or wider layout, it would make more sense. But I've seen it where guys will put like a speaker underneath, let's say a wooded area, and then they put like bird sounds coming out of it. Nature-y kind of things. Just depending on the season, right? Or if you do like nighttime running, put like, cricket sounds. That'd be kind of cool. Hey, Brad, how's it going? Size of the brush. It's not about the size of the brush. It's no. I don't know. I wanted to use a softer brush, and this is what I had as far as a soft tip. I've got even smaller than this, actually. I've got some fine detail ones that I normally use, but obviously, yeah, I wouldn't use like a fine detail on this. I'm just taking my time. I don't know. It's not a huge deal, but I'm sure I could get like a. Well, I've got like, I could use something like this, but I don't want to put it on too thick. I want to do like a thin coat. cool thing about this kit is that there's doors that you put right on the front here, and they actually slide open, and you can have them open or closed, which is really cool. I'm going to try my best to make it so that they do that, but no promises. Whoops. No real effect here. I just did the like I was talking about it earlier actually, because normally things like this I'll spray paint the color, and as you can see, like I did like a black spray paint just for like the primer, black spray paint. So when it came to doing the green, I didn't have any green spray that I liked. It was either too shiny or too dark, and yes, I could have gone out to get something that I did like, but I had this, and I'm like, you know what, I do like that, and I already have it, so I'll just do this. It'll look better once I do a second coat, I think. It does go on relatively thin, but normally, yeah, like sprays and all that, I would recommend. I've seen on my layout, I'm putting the whole YouTube rail fan community at the Jersey Shore rail station, watching the GG1. Nice. So you have a bit of a collection of all the tubers then, eh? Well, I'll let you guys know when that becomes available. But yeah, it's just something I thought I'd, ask you guys if it's something that you're interested in or would be interested in. You know me, I love the animals, so any way I can help, definitely will. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, if anybody is in the Tilsonburg area today, or if you're looking for something to do other than watch YouTube and whatnot, at Otter Valley today, Sylvan Scale Models, Claire from Sylvan, he's going to be in store doing a clinic. I think he's going to be announcing some new products as well. So go by and check him out. can tell certain areas need a bit more of a coat than other areas. And it doesn't have to look perfect because I'll weather it, but I want to get it to the point where it looks okay enough to put a decal on it first, and then I'll weather it. Because this thing came with several decals, or unless it's one decal just done in 3 different colors, I can't remember. It's like over across the room there somewhere. Hey Jennifer, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. How's it going? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, because of the black underneath. Gives it almost that faded look a little bit. Well, that's why I don't really expect it to be perfect when I finish it, because there has to be some sort of imperfection to it. You know, a lot of kits, they're molded in the color that you can basically use right out of the box. Now, because I am the way I am, and I like to change the color of everything, I always paint my kits, but a lot of people will just put them together, and then that's it. There's nothing wrong with that. You just want stand-in structures to, you know, fill out your layout, and that's cool. What I'm hoping to do early next year, because I'm assuming that the chocolate build will be taking up basically all of November. Well, because we start on the 19th, so it's just a couple of Sundays there, and then most of December. So come January, I would love to start a wood kit, like a big wood kit, like ITLA wood kit. I wanted to do an ITLA kit for some time. So no time like the present. So that'll be something that I probably do closer to January, you know, early next year. The only wood kit I've ever done is there's like a little deck over here. You guys probably saw that before I did the little what's it called? Diorama. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. But that's 2 coats though, so. Oh yeah, the Kitchener show is next weekend. Isn't there like a train show literally like every weekend? I think Woodstock is this weekend. Kitchener is next weekend. There's another one after that. Right into November. We're in modeling season, right? This is some peak modeling time that we're getting right now, which is great. I mean, I'm the kind of weirdo that does this stuff all year long. Outdoors, what's that like? No, I get outdoors, but yeah, I enjoy my hobby all year long. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things you gotta paint it. At least that's just how I think anyways. Again, there's nothing wrong with, just grabbing some kits and putting them together as is, because most of them come in colors molded for whatever. But sometimes you want to change it up a bit. You want to do your own thing. I think a lot of some of the other kits, they all the pieces come in one color. Depends on the kit though, because I got some with it where it like had a white roof, and I'm like, I don't want the roof to be white. So then you basically have to color it. Otherwise, the whole kit is just white or gray. It's rare, but that happens too. Also, I don't know if I showed you guys this because I've been working on my lumber loads, but this is what 2 kits will get you. I gotta still wrap those other 2 and put the decals on. That's only one side though. There's nothing on the other side of this car. And then I gotta use the string or whatever to tie them all down. But I'm also making little 2x4s. You can kind of see them here in between a little bit. I put little 2x4s in between so they're not just sitting flat down on each other. But yeah, that takes a lot to cut out every single little 2x4. I have that as my backup here, just in case I need to stop painting for whatever reason. That way I can still work on that. Yeah, there's a bit of a shine to that plastic too, right? And I can show you an example because this is a really good example. So the roof for up here. So this is how I have it right now. I did the black undercoat, and while it was still kind of wet, I hit it with the silver. It's a very metallic, and then you can see some dark spots to it as well. Right, where it looks like it's kind of faded in certain spots. But I'll do further weathering beyond that. That's just my painting for it. That's what it looks like when you get it from, Walthers. It's a grayish silver, which not terrible, but it's not great either. So that will go right on top there. And the same thing with this, right? Like that's what you can see, almost like the plastic lines in there, like the molding and whatnot. But this here, let's kind of put that on there so you can kind of see. Yeah. And it lets you really define certain things. For example, concrete, right? Is it an aged concrete or is it freshly painted or freshly made concrete? Right? Because we know that aged concrete has more of a yellowish, tannish tinge to it, where fresh concrete is gray, more of a light gray. So it allows you to be able to tell the story a little bit better, because that's essentially what you're doing. You're telling a story. How long has it been here? Is this new? Is this old? Kind of like when you weather your tracks and you do your scenery, right? Typically rails that don't get used as much will be more rusted and overgrown with shrubs and grass. So when you get a kit and you're like, well, should I paint it? Should I not paint it? I know not everybody's a fan of painting kits or building them, but you know, adds to the realism, adds to the story that you're trying to tell. So I wish I could get a job just building kits. That would be amazing. Now hiring somebody who can just sit there and paint kits all day or build kits and whatever. Done. Do it. All even to show up to work on time. Just to show my enthusiasm. Yeah, Mike has like some amazing stuff. So, in fact, if you guys don't already follow Mike HO Trains, I highly recommend it. You know, it's like I want to say it's pure talent right there, but like Mike is like the nicest guy, so it's like it's a win-win. Is that my stomach? Jeez. Is that bagel not enough today? Hey man, I say it like I see it. No, it was nice meeting you at the Otter Valley event there. I'm glad you're putting out more videos too. Because you know, when you've got like, and there's a lot of guys. I'm not just saying it's just you, but there's a lot of guys out there who are such a hidden talent, and you know, they're like a best kept secret. You know, I'm like, you should be sharing that with the world. Tell us all your secrets. And you know what? Like, I watch one of your videos and I'm like, geez, I'm so inspired. I gotta go do something like right now. And that's how it works. So it is awesome. Oh, good. Right, Scott? Like, like, yeah, there's certain aspects, and you know, Mike, some point or another, you know, if you're comfortable with it, we're gonna have to do it like a sit down interview or something. I haven't done an interview in a while, but you would definitely be someone that I'd like to, like, you know, pick your brain and, you know, have you share stuff, you know, with the community and whatnot. And, you know, I think it would be, you know, amazing to just have a sit down with you and talk about the hobby and the things that you have learned and whatnot, things that you want to share. And yeah. I think I'm going to finish these two sides before I go on to the last two sides, because it's more of a pain than anything. But Yeah, I definitely feel like I've made a good decision with the color green. I've made mistakes in the past, and we'll call them mistakes because I did end up changing it, or a happy accident. I don't know what you want to call it, but so you make a color, like you mix it or whatever, and sometimes it's a shot in the dark, or sometimes you kind of know what you're doing. As far as mixing colors, like I've got a whole bunch of little things here of colors that I've mixed throughout the year and whatnot, and sometimes it turns out really, really good, and I'm happy with it. And sometimes not so much. And you have to repaint it or redo it. That's another reason why I like putting on just like thin layers, because if I do it and I don't like it, then I don't have like 20 layers of, paint on it, and I don't have to strip the whole thing. I can just, either color right over top of it or do a light misting of the undercoat again to get rid of it, and then just start over. That way I'm not throwing a kit in the garbage, or it's not like, goobered up with paint, and then it loses all those little details. Oh, okay. Water it down with a lighter green. Lighter green, lighter than leaf. Lighter than leaf. I got a sea spray, which is definitely lighter. It's leaning more into the blue at that point, because I've got a hunter green here, which that is obviously the opposite colorway. I saw a Christmas green at the store, which is more of maybe a green like that. Again, the lighting in here is weird, so the color I see here is not, like in real time, is different than the color that you're seeing on screen there. So oh, okay. So I could just take this, add yellow or white into it, and then just lighten it in general. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because I can't imagine putting sea spray over this. Yuck. Get that out of here. Also, whenever I'm painting, well, this isn't brick, obviously. This is like an aluminum siding, almost metal siding. But if I'm doing brick, I usually do that with a brush, for sure. Like I'll spray the base color, and then I go in with brick highlight. But this here is, it's technically all one color, but then, yeah, like Mike said, highlight and whatnot. I was even thinking of changing the the corner pieces here, the connecting piece, but I don't think it would be that great if I did it. It's kind of like, thinking out loud right now, but yeah, for sure. The more how-to videos that you do, the better. I'll be sure to watch it. I liked your fence video the other day. I've got a fence that's very similar to that. I don't know if you used the Walthers one or if that was just like purely custom. It was very similar to the Walthers though. And I've got to build it and put it on the layout. But after seeing what you did there with the way that you colored it, definitely something that I'm going to take into consideration when I'm adding mine. And I like the little posts or the little signage that you put on the fence as well. That's cool too. Pure scratch built. Well, that makes it even better technically. Because it's not a generic store-bought. And it's other Mike, trackside Mike. How's it going, Mike? Now I know that trackside Mike is going to Springfield, but HO Mike, are you going to Springfield? Because I saw that because at the Otter Valley thing, you were doing some work there with mini prints. So do you think you'll be going with him to Springfield in January there at the end of January? I think all mics should go to Springfield. If I had my way, all mics would go to Springfield. All Mikes and Brian's. Because we've got at least two Mikes and we've got at least two Brian's in the chat. So going to have to start numbering all of you. It's when the Johns show up. That's when things get really, really confusing. As if I wasn't bad enough with names already, right? Okay. Way better, right? Doesn't, well, except for that bottom part. I haven't done that yet. But, like, yeah, it's a good green. It's a pretty solid green. I am a fan. So, go me, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, I'm happy with it. So there's, oh, will I be able to? I think so. If I'm leaving on the 6th of November, and I'm just going to check my calendar here for you guys because, you know, okay, so there's 2 more Sundays in this month. 2 Sundays that mean absolutely nothing as far as busyness wise. And I'm leaving on the 6th. So, okay, so I'll be able to do a show on the 5th of November, but then I won't be around until the 19th. So that makes sense. Okay. So yeah, it's just the 1 week that I'd be not doing a Sunday brunch. January should be good. You know, I know I've said it like many times before, but last year, or I guess this year, so January of this year, y'all went and I didn't go. And then here I am sitting here watching you guys have all that fun. And I'm like, ugh, can't believe I didn't go. So, not going to make the same mistake twice. It's November 19th. So I'm back from my trip on the 14th, which I believe is a Tuesday. And then we'll be back to normal. There's 5 Thursdays in November as well, and I'll be away for one of them. So I'm going to have to see if Dave would like to take over for one of those Thursdays. And then I'll have to do, you know, like the 16th probably. Got to work that out with the guys and see what's going on for that. Good, good. Okay. So, well, at least now I know that Anthony got a kit as well. Anthony, are you waiting for us for like the 19th of November? Is that when you're going to start yours as well? Are you going to be joining us or anything? Because I know so far, besides myself, there's Trackside Mike. He's got his kit. I think we got ours at the same time. And Dave from Crooked River and Eastern, he picked up a kit as well. He got his first. He was the first one, and we were emailing each other there, and I sent him some details as to, the what, when, where, why, and how. So he'll be joining us live as well. It's just it's fun. It's fun. We're all working on the same kit. You're going to see a few different versions of, how each of us, A, go about building a kit, B, doing our own take on this kit. We've done it a few times before. We did it with the Hobby Shop kit, the Walters Hobby Shop. What else did we do? Guys, what else did we do? I don't remember what the other kit was. What was... So there was the Hobby Shop. Oh, yeah, the engine shed, the loco shed. That's right. That expensive beast. It's like $80 for that thing. That one was fun too. And then Mike even put his on the layout, and looks great. He did all the scenery around it. I've got a third rail Thursday this Thursday. I don't know how well that's going to go, but we'll try to get through it. I think I'm doing okay. But last month I did, what do you call this thing, a survey? I did a survey and I let people pick what they wanted to see on the Thursday night, whether it's run trains or work on the layout or build something or whatever. And everyone wanted me to run trains. So I did. And it was fun. We had fun. But what will I do this Thursday? That's the real question. Cars from other little follower and replacement. Cool. Yeah, so with this paint, definitely doing one coat is not enough. But that's okay. Sometimes you have to do that just to get the right texture. So it's kind of roughly what it's going to look like. And then, of course, you got your little, I think this is the one for here. Yeah. I don't want to put it on there yet, but that's, so it'd be green with the silver. I think it's a nice touch, nice color scheme there for this. And then I might do white decals. I'm thinking white on the green. That would look pretty proper, I think. Unless you guys got another suggestion. But yeah, it came with, I think, black, white, and red. And if I did red on here, it would just be too Christmassy. If I'm being real with you. Black probably wouldn't show up all that well, just for the fact that it's green, and the white, well, the white would probably, I mean, that's where I'm leaning towards as far as decal for this, but I could even do a shadow and put like the black on and then put the white over top to almost make it look like it's a shadow effect. I don't know how well that will translate to this piece here and if that will technically work, but it is something I'd probably try. I like the idea of the moving cars. That's something I find you have to plan like early, like when it comes to adding that to the layout with the trains and scenery and all that. You definitely have to plan that well in advance. So for what I've got right now, trying to add that to my layout would be very difficult. But all the more to you if you can. I'm pretty sure the one that I saw that I was like blown away by was the CSX Mad, and I know I've mentioned that channel a few times here on this channel. He has the auto industry, and the cars come out, like they literally drive out of the factory plant around the parking lot, and then they drive up the little ramp into the back of auto racks. And then they disappear into the layout somehow. I don't know. It's like magic or something. But yeah, there's usually like 3 or 4 of them that go at the same time. And they just do full loops. Stuff like that, just It's crazy. Gets me. The ideas that some guys come up with. So good. Will you divide into different rooms and install lighting in the rooms? Not with this. I've got a whole city scene or town scene, I guess. City makes it sound much larger with larger buildings. It's more of a downtown where I've got a bunch of buildings, and yeah, they all have their respective rooms and whatnot. And when I get to that point, I will most likely be doing something like that where yeah, each room is going to either be lit or not lit, and then there'll be an interior to it. A lot of those kits I've built here on the Sunday Brunch kit build. But I get so far with it, and then I sit it on the layout, and then I just go on to the next thing. I'll super detail it, and I'll come back and I'll detail it and whatnot later. That's what I tell myself, anyways. But eventually, I will. I want to. But I've got another 2, 3, 4. I've got another 4 kits here that still need work, and I have to put in a whole double bridge, which that's going to be fun. And that's just a car bridge. It's not a train bridge. So like an overpass. That's the word I'm looking for. Overpass. So that'll be fun too. I like doing bridges and adding tunnels and stuff like that. Every layout should have one, at least one. So at least one tunnel, one overpass, one bridge. Just got to keep your layout interesting, you know? There's a lot of little things on the layout too that I haven't done that I really wanted to do, like adding crossing signals and sensors so that when the train goes by, you got the little flashing lights. Don't necessarily have to add the sounds. That is, again, my space is too small to be having things like that making noise all the time. But yeah, I'd enjoy doing that. is my calendar still open? There we go. Yeah, big difference between one coat, 2 coats. It's a must. You got to do a couple of coats with this stuff. Oh, I finished those racks as well, but I put them out on the layout. Didn't really do anything with them, but on Thursday when I'm out there doing my live, I will point them out. Now, I haven't painted them, but I did finish building them. And they were a pain to build. That's why I only ended up doing 2, like live, because oh my gosh, they were a pain. And I normally have patience for this stuff, but that I just wasn't feeling. Yeah. But it's all part of it, right? You gotta, I don't know. It might just be like my mood lately. I don't know. It might have to be, because normally I'm all like psyched to build everything, no matter what it is. while I'm kind of waiting for that second coat to dry, I'm going to paint the little shack. Shore and decor. Now there's also a base for this, but I did not paint that yet. It's going to be the concrete color. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be like the more grayish concrete. And it's cool because like trucks would roll right up to it. There's like I think it's a scale. And yeah. So I'll have to spray that at some point. I've been doing some of my spraying outside before it gets too cold, because spraying in the house, well, it's not normally recommended for obvious reasons, but even though I still do it. But now that my wife works like a 9 to 5 basically, and she's working in this office, it's like there would be no way. Like she will literally murder me if I spray paint down here while she's trying to work. No, but I do feel like my energy was definitely something. Whatchamacallit? I lost my train of thought. Inspired. My energy was inspired by the drink or something. So that's the kind of whatchamacallit I'm putting towards this, energy-wise. Thanks, Bubs. I got your text message there. So yeah, she literally works over there, and I work over here. So full time, like, mind you, she finishes I think at 4:30, and I start at 4. So there's a 30-minute overlap there. Not a huge deal. It's not, you know, those who play together stay together. Am I right? But she's just happy to be working again, because it's been a weird couple of months, let me tell you. to say the least. It's like yesterday was, or not yesterday, Friday. Friday was Friday the 13th, but the whole month has been like terrible. So that happens. I can see my message on the phone. Yeah, like, so this office here, this room that I'm doing this live in, this is just an office or what could have been used as a small bedroom. It's just off the layout there. So the layout's in the other room right behind me. And originally, a long time ago, when we first moved in here, my wife's like, "This is going to be my office," as in her office. And I was like, "Cool, congrats on your office." I don't know what you say to that, but and then COVID happened, the showstopper, as I call it, and she wasn't doing as much work wise, and she was very discouraged with everything, and as a lot of people were. And then I started working from home, and my layout was just going to build, and I had the option to work out there, like right at the layout. I had my computer desk set up right inside my Helix, kind of like an operator's dispatch booth thing. Only there was no Helix, just the base of it. And eventually, eventually, I just kept working from home, and she never came down here, so I ended up kind of taking over this office, doing lives, and then work. Like 9 to 5. Only I don't work 9 to 5. I work much later, like 4 till 11:30. So last month she lost her job and whatnot. They just didn't need her position filled anymore, so she was out of work for a bit. And she just recently, well, she starts tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow's her first day of her new job. But obviously I have all my stuff's here, all my live stuff, and my 9 to 5 stuff is over there in the corner, right? So we're just more or less sharing the space now, because she's got to make a living, and I got to make a living. And I don't think I'll be going back to the office anytime soon, which is good news for me, because my job can be done just as easily from home as I could when I, worked at the office. Only difference is I had to pay for parking, had to pay for gas, and that was a lot. And then even when my wife worked at her old job, I was driving her to work, because she doesn't drive. So me being the good Uber driver, I mean husband, I am, always take her to work or pick her up and whatnot. But now she works from home, so that's even better. Yeah, it's like a office / studio. It just works, you know? Because like I tried doing this out there, and lighting is not the same. You know, lighting in here is definitely way better than it is out there. And the whole setup and takedown, oh my gosh. Oh. I know it makes me sound lazy, but it really is a lot. You know. And if you don't have something, then you'd have to run and go and get it. Where everything is right here. So there's that. I don't know. It just works. This one here is no exception. I'm going to have to do 2 coats on this as well. Totally fine though. really like to get this finished today. This way, next week I can do those highlights that Mike was talking about. Maybe he'll have a video up this week and I can see what he's referring to. This week I gotta add more lights to Debojo. Isn't that the color of the closed down elevator that is on the Havelock sub? Probably. That's probably because during my trip out to Creemore or whatever it's called, you know, where you have to go through Havelock and Barrie and whatnot. Also, a lot of time I spend driving through Woodstock as well. And there's lots of farms out there, and I see a lot of these. I saw a bright red one, so that was kind of cool. But I didn't want to do red again because my whole ethanol plant is red. Too much red, too much. I mean, like, I love red, but, you know, even I got to throw in the towel sometimes, right? So I'm like, okay, well, next cool color for one of these things that I would probably do would be green. And like I said, I've seen like different shades, but for the green that I had, it was either too dark or it was really shiny. And I don't want it to be shiny. I want it to be almost like a matte finish. I'm pretty sure I'll still spray a matte finish over this to seal the green. But yeah, I didn't have any sprays like that. So I was looking through the drawer and I found this one and I'm like, you know what? I like it. It's a little different. It's not too different. It's just, it's different enough that I'm making it, you know, my own, opposed to me copying, you know, a literal one. Because I just needed it as an industry. I didn't need, I didn't feel like I wanted to like replicate something. I had to put my workshop in our garden shed. My wife didn't like the smell of glue and paint. Yeah. I think every time it's usually when I'm doing the ballast or when I'm doing static grass and I have to spray the alcohol onto whatever and then, you know, because it all absorbs. She hates that. Like, she'll come downstairs and she'll be like, "Oh, what is that?" I'm like, "That's art, you know?" That's how I justify it. She's like, "It stinks down here." Like, well, you know, you got to use certain things to do certain whatchamacallits. You know, it's one thing that I remember, and it's like in the back of my mind. You know, when I was a kid, and we had a layout, it was nowhere near what I do now. I just want to put that out there. And the 4x8 that we had wrapped the plywood in AstroTurf. You know that mini putt green stuff? Yeah, that was the grass. So we had wrapped the 4x8 sheet of plywood in AstroTurf. And then we had nailed down cork. I mean, it still worked, but you know that wasn't flat. And you know you're not doing it correctly. But I was 7, so like, don't judge. But I just remember opening up the box of stuff that my uncle gave me. And there was just so many different smells. Like the smell of the cork is very recognizable, you know, and it sticks with you. So cork, and then there was like different glues and whatnot that were also whatever it is that he used. And keeping in mind, this is like over, 30 years ago. So a lot has changed. A lot still the same, but a lot changed since then. And there's just certain things with it that the smells of certain things just stay with you and it takes you back, you know? So things like that don't bother me. You know, smells of like the rubbing alcohol on the ballast. Even just the ballast in general and the smell that the ballast kind of gives off. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed that. But yeah. So I usually soak the ballast first with alcohol. So like I put the ballast down and then I soak it with the alcohol so that when I spray the glue water mixture, it absorbs into it. And it's because I use like, was it either 99 or 98% isopropyl. That's probably why it's so strong, is because I use such a high percentage. But it's all I know. So if there was another way. I've got a couple of grain bins already. I have the wet, dry ones that Bubs got me. Now they're about the same height as this, which I'm going to put in the general area, but I'm probably going to get some small ones as well. And then I need a couple other things as well to go with it. But yeah, there's a few things that I still need besides this kit. Now I've already painted the wet dry bins though. Like they're good. They were all silver, so it's like that was easy. Yeah, I want you to do the piping for that, Bubs, if you don't mind. You don't have to, but you did a great job with Debosha, so. And what we would do is I'd get same cork foam board or whatever that that you used, because I've got a bunch of that laying around here, and I'd cut out a piece to reflect the area to which it's all going to go, and then mark out where everything's going to go, or roughly where everything's going to go. And then if you want to just take it home with you so that you can place everything on the sheet and all that stuff and do that, then that's cool. That way, you know, no real rush, or you don't have to do it while you're here, and you know, kind of just do things at your own pace. I know you're a busy guy anyway, so. Projects for days, so much to do. Can't do it all myself. It's too much of an undertaking. No, I think I want to put them with this kit, just because there's not too much room up there, but I still want to use them. That's my thing right now. Space. It's like when people are like, "You're only limited by your imagination." Oh, my imagination's fine. I'm just running out of room. You know? So. Unless you can find a spot up there for the wet dry bins, because now things are a little bit more in stone. Last time you were here, it was like, okay, placement, you know, this can go here, this can go here. But now I actually have track down, and you know, things are moving in and out of the actual ethanol area. What can I hold on to? Okay. Okay. It might need a bit more, just because it does look rougher on that side. And that's the front, I think. So that's, you know, a pain. When we put ballast on the track, we have not used or known about the alcohol, but just soak the ballast with water, detergent glue mixture with a very fine mist to then wipe the track clean. Yeah, because we do put a bit of, like, well, do 50-50 water and glue, but we do like a couple of spurts of, I guess it would be liquid soap. But yeah, trying to put that on dry ballast, I mean, I'm sure at one time I tried that, but it didn't work all that well for me. It's not to discredit or say it doesn't work, because if it does, if it worked for you, then great. That's awesome. But anytime I've tried that, I just found that in order for it to soak through, the alcohol soaks the whole pile right through, and then it pulls that glue all the way through the ballast. So that I've just done it that way ever since I found out that that is, you know, a way to do it. And I've been doing it like that ever since. That's why my wife's going to have to deal with the alcohol smell. But I don't stand there huffing it, so it's like it's not a huge deal. Usually I'll do that like at night, like when we're doing our lives, and then I go upstairs and go to bed or something, and it's good by the next day. Or if it's really bad, I'll put on a fan because I got a little fan down here that I can put on, and it just kind of clears the air more or less. Cool. Gotta paint that door still, but the Wiseman car system has a pipe and grain trailer for 3 trucks. You can have the truck go to the grain bins. I'm probably only going to get 2 sides of this done. That's fine. building here is very flimsy if it doesn't have its top and bottom to it, which I still got to paint the base for this. I'm just not completely sure what color yet, but I'm sure I'll figure that out, and we'll do that next week. Okay, well, I just have the two sides left, but I'm not going to worry too much about that right now because I did the two coats on the two sides here, two coats on all four sides of the little one, and two coats on all sides of this one. But I do want to take another crack at this side here because this is kind of a pain and it doesn't look as good as the other side of it. So I'm just going to quickly see if I can make that better. But it's a so we went for two and a quarter there. It's a 2 1/4. So I've got third rail Thursday this week. Actually, well, before that, tomorrow night. So tomorrow's Monday. So we're over on most likely James's channel for Off the Tracks Monday. And James is like one subscriber away from 500. So if you don't already follow Dundas Junction Model Railroad, definitely check him out. Probably the cleanest bench work I've ever seen. He's working on a layout right now. He just started this past month, and it's looking amazing. So give him a follow and then check him out tomorrow night because him and Mike go live every Monday at 7 o'clock. Then, like I said, Thursday night, third rail Thursday. Lots of confusion this month with who's going when and whatnot. Tim couldn't do the first week, so Mark went. And then I normally do the second week, but couldn't. So I'm this week, which is technically the third week. I think it's the third week. Yeah, I'll do some weathering on this as well, but probably save that for next week. Another thing that you guys can watch for, I did mention it. I made a post for group members just to let them know. But I haven't been posting a lot lately, and it's because my cat, Alexis, who I've had for almost 14 years, she passed away at the beginning of the month. And it hasn't been easy. It definitely has not been easy. And usually by now she would have came in, started, meowing and whatnot, but that's why it's real quiet here. So the change of everything has made it very difficult to come down to the trainer room and, do what I normally do, knowing that she's not here. So it's been, difficult in the sense. So, but this Thursday I'll do a live, and I don't know, maybe I'll run trains again because, should always run trains. But I've been working on a project, and it's more or less grief and dealing with grief through, your hobby, and in this case, model railroading. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, I should be posting it soon, like within the next couple of weeks, and hopefully you enjoy it, because we all deal with grief. So it happens. It was very sudden, so it kind of caught us all by surprise. Can't plan for stuff like that, though. Do you guys want to see a preview of what's going to be in the video? Because that I can show you if you really want to see. Because you guys have been hanging out with me all morning, and I really appreciate it. Normally I would save something like this for the video, but if you guys really want to see it, I can show you. Anthony says sure. Okay. Well, I'll tell you about it first so that there's context behind it. So obviously, the whole cat thing, right? That you guys already know. So when it comes to grief and whatnot, everybody has a different way of dealing with things, and it's okay to grieve, and it's okay to be sad and whatnot. And like, I wanted to do something special, something to kind of incorporate the two things. So I wanted to do something that I can remember her by, and I wanted to involve what I normally do, which is the hobby. And one thing that I'm very familiar with is graffitiing and weathering and stuff like that. I do a bit of that. And in graffiti, in the real world, the one thing that I always see are all these memorial type graffitis, that people will do. Maybe it's a friend of the artist or someone in the community that is well known, and they always post, like, they'll do a portrait up on a wall. Might be realistic looking, might be cartoonish, or it might just be their name in graffiti font, I guess. So I did just that. I designed and I took a picture of when Alexis was a kitten. It's actually a picture that I have on my bedside table, if I'm being honest. I had just got her, and literally the next day was my birthday. And I had a couple of friends over, and one of my longtime friends, I've known him forever, he took a really good picture of her. And I've had that just like in a frame for like the longest time. And I photocopied it, so it was in black and white, which, let's face it, I should have done a color photocopy because she's a black and white cat. So not the best choice on my end, but I'm gonna get it. So basically, I took a car and I did a graffiti on it, and I'm going to show you guys. And I've only showed a couple of guys, just the close guys, guys that I knew, understood, Mark and whatnot. But I'll show you guys here, and you'll get to see the whole video of me doing this. But that's the car there. But yeah, it just says the 2010 to 2023, and then her little portrait there, and it says Alexis with the little paw prints. And I like the fading that I did, the pink to purple, I guess. And there's still tape on it to cover up the little numbers and whatnot, but yeah, her whiskers were like ridiculous to do, and I'm not pro by any means, but yeah, that's it's just a car I did, and I like the fact that I had an all white one, so yeah, it was easier to do than doing it on like a yellow one or something. But yeah, you'll be able to see the whole video of me doing that, and I'll be talking about it and stuff like that, so you guys get an early look at that. So, but I really appreciate y'all for hanging out today, and we got to work on this kit, and we'll be back next week. Oh, I missed a spot. Oh, geez. See, that's the kind of thing that's going to bother me, right? And we'll be back next week, and I'll be able to do a bit more of this, and it'll be dry by then, hopefully. Probably will be. But... and we'll get the roof on. There's little window things that go in there too. Put the doors on, get the doors painted and whatnot. All good, Mike or Mark. It happens. I'm here every Sunday, so don't feel obligated. But yeah, just thought I'd come on and do some painting or something. You know, it helps take your mind off things. It's relaxing. The quiet is nice. I think the kids are upstairs playing video games, and that's probably why. But yeah, so we'll look for a video on that, and I'll be back Thursday, and we'll run some trains, and then next Sunday be doing more of this. Gonna get this thing done, get some decals on here, do some highlights and whatnot, and just keep plugging away, keep doing the hobby, keep doing that thing that we all love to do. But we'll see you guys real soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.